Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today is going to be an unexpected video idea here. Now I know what you might be thinking. This isn't the average video that good old McFlurry wouldn't post, but I just had to because of the awesomeness of Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I am extremely interested to see what comes next in the next chapter of the legendary Monsterverse. So yeah, let's get to it. So, after the box office flop of Godzilla King of the Monsters, it really was a good Godzilla movie. It was one of the best. It's just that I feel like they picked the worst time to release it, because summer is the time where people are out of town, you know that stuff, out in beaches everywhere. I bet you if they released it like a month before summer, then it probably would have gotten a lot of money. Of course, critics hate everything audiences and fans like. Don't trust critics, people. Audiences and fans are the true ratings for a movie. The true people that rate a movie. So yeah. But what's of Godzilla vs. Kong so far? Released some news and this poster that I'm using for the picture so far. We know Adam Wingard is directing the movie and that stuff. We know just a little bit of some stuff so far about Godzilla vs. Kong. But I want to get into the stuff here. This is a discussion video. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the discussion. Now, due to the unsuccessful box office money of Godzilla King of the Monsters, Legendary thought it was a thing, a bad thing, but it actually wasn't. But the thing is that Legendary might actually delay Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah, the news has been not spread not too long ago, about, I would say about just a couple weeks ago. And, it might be delayed. It's gonna get released on March 13th, I think. But it might be delayed into a later month. Like, I guess either the next August, next year. Here's the thing I'm scared at, is that it could be delayed enough, either to the point where it could be just next year after 2020, 2021. And trust me, I am an extremely impatient person. I have problems with being patient. I cannot be patient. So, I'm glad either way. I think the audience will like it either way. Even if it's an A+ movie, or if it's just get released, audiences will still like it. And even fans might still like it either way. But if Legendary makes it an A+, fans are going to like it even more, of course. So, Legendary says they might have to delay it to make an A+ movie. That means reshooting the film. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'll enjoy it either way, don't get me wrong. But, I'm an impatient person, so, yeah. But, the next thing I want to talk about is this next thing. Spoiler alert to Godzilla King of the Monsters, there was an actual... click off the video if you want to avoid spoilers for Godzilla King of the Monsters. Yeah, right now. But, there was kind of a mini post-credit scene. There was 2 post-credit scenes. I'm gonna spoil the first one. This was a little tease for Godzilla vs. Kong, and it showed a cave painting, after the credits montage of all the pictures, that stuff, newspapers, flashback from the first 2 movies, but, it's just that they showed a cave painting. It showed, of course, Godzilla and Kong fighting to the death, and if you look at Kong's hand, he's not, to me, it looks like, instead of his, that's what it looked like at first. It looks like he's just roaring at Godzilla with his hands up in the air, ready to pound on Godzilla's head, something like that. Godzilla's trying to lead in to bite him, or shoot his atomic breath. If I look at Kong's hands objectively, it just looks like he's holding a rock, getting ready to throw it at Godzilla, or something like that. This might be just a little reference to King Kong vs. Godzilla. But, Now, another thing is that I want to talk about that is Kong's size. He looks. I mean, Godzilla's hunched over and bent over, looking down at Kong, just a bit. He looks like he might be up to Godzilla's chest. I mean, that's alright, but I prefer if he's up to his jaw, something like that. A lot of people are saying that Kong will be just a little tiny bit taller than Godzilla. I mean, but you have to remember, guys, spoiler, in the movie, Godzilla actually grows from, I think it's 350 feet to 400 feet. And right now, I heard that Godzilla, not King Kong, I mean, not Godzilla, King Kong might be 19 meters and 300 feet tall. And Godzilla's in this film is, like, the new film is, like, either, I want to say he's either, like, 119 meters or 117 meters. I don't know, it's really hard. But, we all know his height, though, 400. Next thing I want to talk about. You can tell in Godzilla King of the Monsters, they really juked up Godzilla because they must have realized how powered up they made King Kong and how weak they made Godzilla in the first film. And it works out very well in King of the Monsters. In that one, Godzilla's smarter, he's faster, he has a more stronger atomic breath. He's a bit more aggressive, and much more aggressive, and he's more powerful, and he has a new power. But I'm not going to spoil that for you. So yeah. So Kong's already powered up enough, right? I mean, he was strong, faster, and agile. Back then, he was stronger, faster, agile, smarter, and what else? He uses weapons and that stuff, more aggressive than Godzilla. But now they might be even more matched in aggression and abilities and that stuff. I mean, of course, one will have some abilities over the other, like Kong will have like speed and agility and weapons, while Godzilla will have the brute force and that stuff, and the atomic breath and powers. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is that how I think the fights will go. So this is just a guess. This might not be spoiling the movie. I'm just gonna have to guess. So yeah. So this is how I think the fights are gonna go. I have a strong feeling that there's gonna be 4 fights. Okay? 4 fights. What am I saying? Actually, 3. I have a strong feeling there's gonna be 3 fights. The first fight is probably gonna be Kong actually fighting Rodan. Kong versus Rodan. So, I mean, given that this is a reboot of some movies, it's definitely going to pay a lot of references to some original Godzilla and King Kong movies in the past. And pretty much almost all of them in the past. So yeah. In here, they might pay a little homage to the original King Kong 1933 film where he fights a pterodactyl, only this time it's going to be Rodan. And Rodan's a lot stronger than a pterodactyl, so in this universe at least, and he might pick up a whole much of a better fight to Kong. This is how I think it's going to go. The two are evenly matched for a little bit. Rodan seems to be kind of damaging Kong a bit, but Kong ends up soon getting the upper hand and ends up wounding Rodan very badly, and Rodan retreats, causing Kong to be the victor. But he take a lot of damage from Rodan. And plus another reason why that fight would make sense, because I heard these things going on that it might be an actual fact in the movie that some Titans are attracted to Skull Island. So, what if Rodan is one of them? That might make a whole lot of sense. And I have a strong feeling that fight's gonna take place in a day. So yeah. The second fight will be Godzilla and Kong's first battle in the film. Because, in some versus movies, you have to always have some type of first encounter. I mean, of course, every Almost every Godzilla movie has that and that stuff. So yeah. So yeah, pretty much. This is how I have a feeling the fight's gonna go down. It's gonna take place on Skull Island, like the first fight. It's gonna happen the day, like the first fight, and it's gonna make that cool because this is the first film we're gonna actually see Godzilla fight a monster in the day. You know, because we're technically always seeing him fight monsters in a dark and rainy, stormy night, or when it's dark and it's thunder and that stuff. So maybe we might get to finally have his first battle in the day. So here I think it's gonna go down. Both of them are evenly matched, but given that it's Kong's home, he might pick up he's destroying Godzilla in the fight. He's using his own home environment to his advantage. He's kind of destroying Godzilla. Godzilla tries to pick up a good fight. He ends up kind of doing it, but then Kong just gets the upper hand again. Okay, this is how the fight's either gonna end. Two ways the fight could end. Both of them could tag each other and fall into the ocean off a cliff on Skull Island, like in the original Godzilla vs. King Kong, 1962. Or King Kong can win by either picking up Godzilla and throwing him into the ocean, or just he knocks Godzilla out and leaves Godzilla there, and Godzilla retreats back into the ocean when he wakes up because he doesn't find Kong anywhere. So yeah, those are three ways that the first battle can end. It's either two ways Kong can win in the first fight, or it could be a draw. So yeah, there you go. The final battle could be in the thunder, in the night and the rain and that stuff, in New York City, I think, because, you know, gotta have an awesome city fight. And this is the first time in cinema history where Godzilla's actually gonna fight Kong in the city, and at night, because in the original, they never fought each other at night. So yeah, it would be cool. So both monsters do the epic charge, given that Godzilla's more used to this type of environment and Kong is not. Godzilla starts destroying Kong a bit, and he starts getting the upper hand, but given that Kong has a little bit of experience fighting Godzilla from that, and remembers what he does, he's gonna get upper hand again. But given that Godzilla knows about Kong, he might get an upper hand too. So they both end up getting the upper hand and might be evenly matched, but Godzilla ends up kind of wrecking Kong a bit more than Kong has did. Both the monsters are evenly matched. And using their classic abilities, Kong's using the environment, using his speed, agility, intelligence, using weapons, punching and that stuff, while Godzilla's using his clawing, tail whips, charges, and his atomic breath, and might be using just a little bit of his intelligence as well. And I have a feeling the final battle is going to be kind of like an injury type of thing, where it's just going to be like very serious, very tragic. You feel bad for both monsters. Like Kong loses, he get this huge scar across his face from Godzilla, this wound that turns into a scar from Godzilla's claw, or Godzilla might blast him with the atomic breath so hard that his chest might be burned or something. Or like Kong grabs a sharp metal object and stabs it in Godzilla's shoulder, and then his chest is his shoulder's bleeding. Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be like that. Kind of a homage to Zimot's animation of Godzilla vs. Kong, of how they fight. It's gonna be kind of gory and that stuff, you know. So yeah, I have a strong feeling it's gonna be like that. Given that they gave one of Godzilla's most popular powers back in the King of the Monsters movie, spoiler, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, because one of the best parts, beautiful parts in the movie. You know, a lot of people hate spoilers. I definitely bet you that they're gonna bring back Kong's electricity power, where he's gonna get stronger from lightning. I know it's not accurate with Kong, but Toho did it, and that's because it all supposed to start with King Kong or Godzilla versus Frankenstein, and that basically spoils the whole question of, yes, why Kong has electricity powers and they became super popular. And I want the setting to be like a fiery city, like a destroyed city, like in the posters. Some of the like one of the Japanese poster for Godzilla vs King Kong vs Godzilla in 1962. That's how I want the environment to be like. And also like the 1990s VHS cover. Yeah, that'll be really cool to see. So, both of them are evenly matched. Kong ends up getting knocked out, but instead of getting his butt kicked like in 1962's King Kong vs. Godzilla, he would pick up a very super good fight. But he gets knocked out due to the environment. Godzilla thinks his work is done. He leaves. Kong gets back up after being struck by lightning, and Kong starts zapping Godzilla. Then Kong starts destroying Godzilla, and here you think Kong's gonna win, but then we get reintroduced to one of Godzilla's previous powers, the electric atomic breath. Then Godzilla's gonna start destroying Kong, and then he's gonna shoot his electric breath once at Kong, and it's gonna wound Kong very badly, I have a feeling. And Godzilla's gonna knock him out, and wound him very badly and shoot his atomic breath one more time, and probably Kong's gonna get knocked out. And Godzilla becomes victorious. So, this is the reason why I think Godzilla would win in terms of this movie. Right now, in the original King Kong vs. Godzilla, the reason, I'd say nobody won, but the reason Toho's saying is that Kong won in that one was because, he was more well known than Godzilla, and plus Godzilla was the villain and King Kong was the underdog, so yeah. But, I have a feeling in this one there's no gonna be underdog. Because, plus, they're not gonna make it like Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. I heard some news that they're not gonna make it look like Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. So, yeah. So sorry to the people who wanted to see Kong and Godzilla team up in this movie. Sadly, no, I have a feeling we'll not be getting that. It would be very cool to see, but I'd rather see a fight, plus that will destroy the title of the movie. It would be awesome to see them team up in another movie, though. That's a great idea for another movie in the MonsterVerse. But anyway, back to the discussion. So yeah, but this time Godzilla is more popular than Kong right now, as it seems, and plus, with the ratings in, Godzilla has more movies than Kong does. So Godzilla is basically more popular at this point, just a bit more popular at this point than Kong is. So yeah, and it's just that another reason why I think that is because they brought back Godzilla's one of his powerful powers back. They're definitely going to bring back Kong for this one, but given that in the previous Godzilla films, that's one of Godzilla's powers, they're going to make it a reference to that, and they're going to give him that power too, so yeah. But, it's just that, like, I heard the director given a hint that, like, Godzilla, the final battle between Godzilla and King Ghidorah was like something you'll never forget and that stuff. It's, he also said that Kong's gonna have to bring something, and this might be a hint to his electricity power, and Godzilla's gonna be kind of strong in the third movie, Godzilla vs. Kong. So, yeah. So yeah, this is why I think Godzilla might win this time. I'm alright if Kong wins. I'm alright with either of them winning. Just hope none of them dies, because I hate to see them die. So I'm alright with either one of them wins, because I'm a fan of both, so yeah. And plus, I have a feeling the battle is gonna be just as cool as the final battle in an Endgame. I'm not gonna spoil that for you either. But yeah, there you go. That's that. Final thing to talk about, movies after Godzilla vs. Kong. I heard a person say that, oh, the given the box office flop of Godzilla King of the Monsters, it after Kong versus Godzilla, it's just gonna be, it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna die after that. I totally disbelieve that. The fact that they're gonna release it in March, and it's very earlier than May, much earlier than May. And I have a feeling it's gonna get a lot of box office money just because of the name itself, Godzilla vs. Kong. Two of the most famous giant movie monsters in history going at it. After years later, after their first match and that stuff, it's gonna be the first time for new Western audiences and that stuff. So yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna get a lot of box office money and probably be a box office success. But if I had to, this might be that the MonsterVerse might be going after this. So yeah, but here's what I think the movies that are gonna happen. Godzilla 3. I have a strong feeling the villain in that one will probably be if Toho can get the rights, then I have a strong feeling that Biollante and Gigan are gonna be the villains in that one. The reason why I say that is because in the credits there's been teased like a bio kaiju that Monarch tried to create, but ended up failing on Skull Island. You could say it might be hiding on Skull Island or something like that. Then it just made its way to the cities and that stuff in the ocean where Godzilla lives, and that could be Biollante. But it's 50-50 chance, but I think it might be happening. Gigan, another reason for him to be in the third movie as another villain is because spoiler, at the second end credits scene, where the main human villain, I forgot his name, the main human villain buys King Ghidorah's left head. It leaves because, I heard that there's gonna be Mecha Kaiju in the MonsterVerse. Sad we won't see Mecha Godzilla or Mecha King Ghidorah, but even though if they said it in the newspaper articles, I sadly don't think it's happening. Just a little reference there. But yeah, here's what I think they're gonna do. They're gonna make it kind of cyborg-ish. They're gonna might use the DNA and then make it kind of mechanized and that stuff, and it's gonna open up a possibility to fit Gigan into the MonsterVerse. So yeah, if there is a Godzilla 3, I have a strong feeling that those might be the two villains. They can make it look like Aquaman, where Manta, I think it was Black Manta. Yeah, I think it was Black Manta. Where they can make Black Manta look like the side villain, and then Ocean King was like the main villain. So you could say that Biollante could be the main villain, and Gigan could be the side villain, and they're like Gigan's like helping Biollante out, kind of. I guess you could say that. Given that those monsters are kind of teased in Godzilla 3, I undoubt they're gonna be the villains in Godzilla 3. I just know it. And in Godzilla 3, I have a strong feeling there's gonna be King Caesar or Rodan in that movie. Not Rodan. Oh, Rodan already got introduced. What am I saying? Anguirus, if they get the rights, because it will be very cool to see them too in the MonsterVerse, and especially Godzilla 3 it will be a good choice to add them in there too. So yeah. Given that Mothra was teased in the newspaper and in the newspaper montage, I have a feeling they're gonna remake Rebirth of Mothra, only this time instead of another Ghidorah, they're gonna probably make it Batra, Batcher will be an interesting addition to the MonsterVerse and a new villain. That's if they get the rights from Toho, though. But it'll be really cool to see Batcher. Batcher looks more like a villain for Mothra than Godzilla, so it wouldn't make sense. You can easily make a backstory for him in this MonsterVerse, like there was an evil version of Mothra that this Mothra had to defend off and that stuff. She trapped him somewhere in the temple and he broke free. Now he's just wreaking havoc and destroying everything. This Mothra has to awaken and destroy Batcher once and for all, like something like that. So yeah, in my opinion, it's kind of easy to fit Batcher into the MonsterVerse. So yeah. So if there is a Mothra movie, a Rebirth of Mothra movie reboot movie, I guess. I'm guessing that he's gonna be the main villain. So yeah, makes sense. 50-50% chance that there might be a solo Rodan movie. And then they're gonna make a Destroy All Monsters. Now, I think the villain is gonna be Destroyer. It has to be, because, spoiler, they introduced the Oxygen Destroyer in Godzilla King of the Monsters. And Destroyer is created from the Oxygen Destroyer, so I have a strong feeling that he is gonna be the Thanos of the MonsterVerse. I just have a feeling. Of course, all the monsters are gonna team up against him, and he might have summon his new Titans, like King Ghidorah did that call, where he could have Titanosaurus and Megalon and Orga on his side, opponents like that, or even Megaguirus. I mean, if they get the rights for all those monsters and destroy himself, then yeah, that'll be a really cool idea. That all the good monsters can fight the bad monsters. So yeah, that'll be really cool. But yeah, that does it for this discussion video. So, Godzilla vs. Kong, will it be terrible? Will it be the best film in the MonsterVerse? Will it be not as good as the original? Will it be just as good as the original? Will it be just better than the original? I don't know, we have to find out. But definitely hype for this movie. Let me know your thoughts and opinions of what's the future of the upcoming MonsterVerse, what you think movies are going to happen, what movies are going to happen, what they might do in this film. And, so yeah. If you like the content I do on my channel, be sure to subscribe. If you really like the video, then like the video then. So yeah, without further ado, peace out.